Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to complete the Auto Gen Pt2 formatting documents and embedding images. So open up the assignment and you'll get the instructions here, and the first thing it says is to download the Auto Gen Pt2 starter file. So click on that arrow just to the right of the file name, and then once that's downloaded we're going to click on the open it up and click on the enable editing button, and then we're on to the next step. So the next step is to use the find and replace to replace your name in double quotes with your first and last name. So we'll go back to our document and we're going to go on the replace button here on the home tab, and we're going to look for your name like that, and we're going to replace it with our first and last name. Of course, your first and last name will go in that second space there, and then click replace all and it'll find one. Click OK and you can see it put your first and last name on the title page. Now we can close that. Now we're ready to go on to the next one. The next instruction is to insert a sidebar on the first page. Okay, and then it says to insert information in the sidebar describing what a theme is. See the text below. So we're going to insert this text in our sidebar. So let's go ahead and copy that. So highlight that text and do a Control-C. And then we're going to go to our document and we're going to go down to page 3 here and click on page 3, anywhere on page 3. So put your insertion point anywhere on page 3. And then we're going to click on the Insert tab, and we're going to go over to the text box button. And a sidebar is actually a special type of text box. So we're going to choose this Austin sidebar, and that inserts that sidebar on page 3. And down here where it says sidebars are great for calling out important points from your text or adding additional information for quick reference. And then down at the bottom it says when you're ready to add your content, just click here and start typing. So we're going to click there and we're going to do a Control-V to paste that text from the instructions there. And up here for our sidebar title, we're going to change that to themes because this is additional information on themes. And then we're going to use this outer button here. There's two buttons. There's this button. If I choose the inside one, it'll move that inside box and make it smaller. If I choose this outer button, it will move that outside line. So we don't want and if you don't want that one to be changed, you use that outside button there. Okay, so we can make that smaller. All right, so probably want to make this a little bit smaller too. Oh, can't make it that small. Okay, so you have to, you notice this is made up of different objects. So I'm going to take this object up here, and you can play around with this. I'm going to make this blue box a little bit smaller so it matches there. And then I want to probably make this one a little bit smaller so it matches where the top of the blue box is. And then make this one a little smaller. Working. Okay, I guess that's as small as it'll go. Maybe we can move this. Yeah, it's not letting me do that. Okay. All right. So you get the idea. You can adjust that. And we also want to, for the next instruction, so let's look at the next instruction. It says to change the font of the text in the sidebar to match the rest of your document, making any necessary adjustments. So we made some of the adjustments, but we need to change the font so it matches the font in our paper. So let's just highlight a section of text in our paper anywhere on the page 3 there and click on the Format Painter. And now if we go over here, your cursor becomes a paintbrush, and we can just select the text that we want that format applied to. And now, now that font matches the text in our document. Okay, now we're on to the next step. Now we're going to change the layout on pages 3 and 4 to 2 columns. And it says to reformat the page numbers if necessary. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is we want to change the layout on pages 3 and 4 to 2 columns. So we need to insert section breaks because if we want to format different parts of our document in different ways, we need to have section breaks to separate which areas we want formatted in in the way that we want. So we're going to go down to the bottom of the first page here, or page 2 rather, and right at the end, right after, put our insertion point right after where it says video provides a powerful way to. And then we're going to go to the layout tab and we're going to click on the breaks button here. And one of the types of breaks is the page break, but there's also section breaks. And there's different types of section breaks. The first one is insert a section break and start the new section on the next page. So that's the one that we're going to use. And then on page 2, or page 3 rather, let's see, what page is this? I guess it's page 4. If you click anywhere on page 4 and go to the columns and select 2 columns, now it shows 2 columns. But it shows 2 columns all the way to the rest of our document. So we don't want to do that. So I'm going to Control Z to change that or remove the 2 columns. And I'm going to go down to the bottom of the last page there. And right after it says even on another device, I'm going to insert another section break where it says next page. Now, if I go up here and on page 4, I'm going to change that to click anywhere on page 4 and go up to the columns and select 2. Now it shows 2 columns for those next 2 pages. But the bibliography is now still 1. Now, if we go to the Home tab and click on the Show Formatting, we don't really need this page break here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. So position your cursor there and do a backspace, do another backspace. And now we're able to see everything looks good, except we've got page 2 here. And then on the next page, the page is blank. So we need to go into the footer. So if you double click on the bottom of the page, down towards the bottom of the page, that'll open up this header and footer menu. And now we can go to the page number and go to the bottom of the page and select this accent bar 1. And we also want to click on the page number and do the format page numbers and go continue from the previous section. And now that'll say page 3. This says page 2, page 1. And let's see what the next one says. Page 4. And okay, there's a problem with this last one. So page 4. So if we click on this last one here and go back to the page number and click on the format page numbers, and let's try this continue from previous section. And now it says page 5. Now we're good. Okay, so now to exit the header and footer mode, we can either click on this close header and footer button, or we can double click anywhere in the body of our text, and that'll take us out of that footer mode, header and footer mode. Now we've got our text in 2 columns on the pages 3 and 4, or 3 and 4. And we have our page numbers correct. So now we're ready to move on to the next step. For the next step, it says to insert a picture of an apple on the left of column page 3. Okay. And then it says reduce the size of the image and then use the tight wrap formatting to wrap the text around the image and then use the edit wrap points to further refine it. Okay, so let's look at this. And we want to do it on page 3 where it's 2 columns. So let's just pick somewhere here. We can hide the formatting marks again. So just click on the Show Hide button and then click anywhere here, like on the first part of that left column. And then we're going to go up to the Insert and Pictures button, and we're going to do the Online Pictures. And we're going to look for pictures of apples. And it's always good to use one that has a white background. So let's go ahead and use this one. Click Insert. Okay, now we need to resize this. But first of all, let's take this text off of here. So if we click on the text area, it surrounds it by a box with a dotted line. If we click on the dotted line border, it becomes a solid line. And then we can hit the delete key and delete that text. Okay, and then we can use these buttons on the corners to resize it to a size that we want. And right now, it's because we inserted the image at the end of one of the lines, it's treating that image just like it's another character. So we can use this text wrapping or layout options. Right now it says see in line with text, so it's treating it just like a letter. But if we go down here and click on this tight wrapping, now we can move that around anywhere we want, and it'll show the apple where we want it to be shown. Okay, and we also get this picture format tab up here. And so we can also use that. You'll notice on that picture format tab, there's also this wrap text button, which is just like this one. But this one does not have, well, I guess we can click on see more. Okay, yeah, and then go to text wrapping. Or we can go up here to this text wrap button, and one of the options is to edit the wrap points. So when I click on that edit wrap points, I get these wrap points, and I can further refine the wrapping. So now if I want another wrap point, I can click on that line and drag it towards the apple, and then drag this one towards the apple, and then just try to get just the apple, And then the more of those points that you put on there, the more it'll refine it. So you can play around with that. I'm just clicking on that and trying to get this close. And of course, the more wrapping points you have, the more accurate it's going to be. Okay. Now, if I notice, I can pull this over a little bit and pull that text wrapping even further. See, make the text come even closer. If we move that, I want to make sure that none of your text is hidden. Okay. So it's just wanted to be able to show you that you can do that and make your image even more tightly wrapped with the text. Okay. I'm getting a little bit too much. I'm polishing the apple too much here, to use an expression. Okay. Now we're ready to go to the next step, which I believe is just to save your file with your initials. And it says appended at the beginning of the file, but you can also do it at the end. So we'll just go up here and click on the file, save as, and where it says starter 2, I'm going to delete that, or just part 2, and then put your initials. And we want to save that. I'm going to click on the browse button here and save it in my downloads folder, because that's where I put a lot of my temporary files. So there it is. And then save that. And I saved this before, so I'm going to replace that. And then you're going to go back to the assignment, and there should be a submit button for you on the assignment. And just click on that submit button, submit your file, and you'll get credit for the assignment. So hopefully that was a little fun for you. You learned some things. And thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your day.